You consider it natural to use your past experience as a reference point from which to judge the present. Yet this is unnatural because it is delusional. When you have learned to look upon everyone with no reference at all to the past, either his or yours, as you perceived it, you will be able to learn from what you see now. For the past can cast no shadow to darken the present unless you are afraid of light. And
That means that's the very thing. Being present is allowing all the thoughts and all the feelings to be right here, right now, and not to be go into your dream and attack, to judge because you don't like the way you feel. It's no, actually being real about how you feel, rather than what happens is you get distressed and you bring up past illusions and project the cause of your distress, so that we don't know it's what we thought that's distressing us. Our thoughts are distressing us. Well, if you aren't honest about your thoughts in the moment, and you're not honest about what you feel, you can't heal this. You're always going to be living in a past or a future reference, not now, because you're afraid of what now will show you. That's the whole reason we're trying to stay out of the present, where eternity is, where all the truth is. I mean, but that's the reason why people don't be honest. They don't. When you know that, then you don't go, oh, I'm distressed because of what somebody else is doing. No, I'm distressed because of what am I thinking, and I'm afraid to find out what I'm thinking.
the miracle enables you to see your brother without his past and so perceive him as born again. His errors are all past, and by perceiving him without them, you are releasing him. And since his past is yours, you share in this release. Let no dark cloud out of your past obscure him from you, for truth lies only in the present, and you will find it if you seek it there. You have looked for it where it is not, and therefore have not found it. Learn then to seek it where it is, and it will dawn on eyes that see. Your past was made in anger, and if you use it to attack the present, you will not see the freedom that the present holds. Judgment and condemnation are behind you.
Did you see what he said there? Your past was made in anger. Our past was made in anger. Do people realize that the Course is saying these kinds of things, that we need to deal with our anger? This isn't about it's all done and lovey-dovey-dovey. Our past was made in anger. We have to correct it if we want to know the present and the eternal innocence that we all have. We're afraid we're guilty, and we're angry about that because we're not being responsible for the choice to be here and to choose our thoughts, our attack thoughts. We chose every thought that's in our mind to think it. Whether we were brainwashed to think it or not, we were responsible for accepting it and making it real, because our thoughts this world is a mental world, and our thoughts make things happen.
And yet the laws of love are not suspended because you sleep, and you have followed them through all your nightmares and have been faithful in your giving, for you were not alone. Even in sleep has Christ protected you, ensuring the real world for you when you wake. In your name, he has given for you and given you the gift he gave. God's Son is still as loving as his Father.
See, they're basically saying that those near-death people are saying, we still exist in another dimension that's right next to this dimension, the real world, and we're all cool. Meaning our real higher self, and that we're just part of us is lost and is trapped in a construct, an ego construct that's hurting us and everyone else that we're trying to wake up from. But the whole fun, like he's talking about, the fun part of the Course is saying, but you've already succeeded. It's already over. You're already there. It's just you're going to walk this trail of tears basically until you let go of your false thinking here, and it's not necessary. Wake up now. Wake up, everybody. This is all a torture chamber. That's what he's basically saying. They're just like the near-death people say. They come back and they know that place is there, but they got jobs to. Well, our job here is to help wake up as many people as possible to the fact they're spiritually loving, eternal beings that don't need to punish themselves anymore for things that didn't really happen. They only happened in a dream, and it was terrible. It was horrible, and it still is. But we can all wake up. There's a quantum field. We understand science now and everything, so we can do this. There's just what the Course is instructions about how to do this. Get rid of our anger, which comes from our fear that we really changed ourselves. And you're going to always have that anger as long as you're not completely woken up. So that's your journey, is to walk through it.
It's continuous with his Father. He has no past apart from him. He has never ceased to be his Father's witness and his own. Although he slept, Christ's vision did not leave him, and so it is that he can call unto himself and the witnesses that teach him that he never slept.
Well, so we're going to find out we never slept. We were always busy loving.
Oh, I love that.
And that's what he's basically saying, which,
Yeah.
kind of is what the near-death people are saying too. I mean, and they're coming from an experience that, they try to understand and explain it in their own words. But basically, if you listen, you can hear what the Course is saying. It's like, wow, they're kind of witnessing to this a little bit,
Yes.
even though they don't use the same words, or they have different ways to explain it. He said it's right, the dimension is right there, and it looks like a world, but it's just got brighter colors. It's more real. It feels like home. It's where we really exist. That's where we really are. We're in a dark dream right now that we're trying to wake up from. And that's why the prosperity gospel and some of the particular teachings are not, there's two different ideas. This physical world isn't God's creation. It's a dream. God's creation is who we really are, but this is a dream we're caught in, and there are forces that are, and mind and perspectives, ego perspectives, that are keeping us locked in this prison. And the purpose of spirituality is to wake up from the prison, not to make the prison pretty.
Yeah, right.
Because there is another word right there. It's already created. We don't need to, you just need to see it differently, and then people will start cooperating rather than fighting. They'll start solving problems rather than not, because they're not going to be they're not going to be attacking each other because of projections of guilt, which the religions teach everybody to do. There are the good people, the bad people, and then you're supposed to kill the other people. That's what's going on here. We have to, you see, that's why it's so important when we're walking through our days and we experience thoughts and feelings, to use it like an opportunity to find ideas of guilt that we haven't found yet in our own mind. You see, it's not supposed to be a judgment.
No.
Remember, he says, when you stop projecting guilt and blame for why you're angry, the first thing that ego wants you to do now is to blame you, because the ego just wants to blame somebody. It doesn't matter if it's you or them. The point of the Course is breaking away. It's not easy to see that no one is guilty. It requires a spirit. Like he said, you won't be able to see that. He even said that in there. Did you hear it? He says, only the Spirit can show you this. Holy Spirit is the only one that can see this. Because it's another dimension. It's another way of thinking. Yeah. And you can't solve the problem that you created here with this way of thinking yourself. You need another way of thinking.